The Mirror That Watches Back, a mind-bending horror story. 1. The first warning, they say, mirrors reflect your soul. But what if your reflection doesn't belong to you anymore? It started with an email, a simple message, arriving in my inbox at exactly 3:33 a.m. No sender, no subject, just 5 words. You must never look away. I stared at the screen. My heart slowed. A primal, instinctive dread creeping into my bones before my brain could catch up. The time 3:33 a.m. felt significant, like the universe itself had paused to deliver this message. The words felt deliberate, heavy as if they weren't meant for me, but had found me anyway. I shook my head. Just spam, I told myself. A glitch, nothing to worry about. But when I closed my laptop, my own reflection stared back at me from the darkened screen. And then it blinked. Not with me. After me. A half-second delay, as if it had been watching me first. My chair tipped over as I stumbled back. My apartment was silent, save for the faint hum of the refrigerator. My laptop sat open, its black screen reflecting me too perfectly. And then, another email arrived. The house at 144 Blackwood Lane has a mirror. You must not look away. 2. The invitation to terror. I had never heard of Blackwood Lane, but curiosity is a disease, and I was already infected. A quick Google search turned up nothing. No records, no listings. It didn't exist. But when I typed the address into my GPS, my phone found a route, a single road leading into darkness. I hesitated. Every rational instinct screamed at me to ignore it, to shut my laptop, delete the emails, and forget everything. But instead, I grabbed my keys. The drive was unsettling. The streetlights flickered out one by one as I passed beneath them, casting shadows that seemed to stretch and twist unnaturally in my rearview mirror. The world outside my car felt too quiet, too still, as if reality itself was holding its breath. And then, I saw it. A house that shouldn't have been there. It looked wrong, as if reality had stitched it together incorrectly. The proportions were off, too many windows, doors that didn't match up, architecture that seemed to shift when I wasn't looking directly at it. A faint, low hum vibrated in the air, like the house itself was breathing. I stepped closer. The front door was already open. The air inside was thick with dust and decay. Furniture sat covered in white sheets, the silence stretching on endlessly, broken only by the occasional creak, as if the house remembered footsteps that were no longer there. And then, I saw it. The mirror. 3. The rules of the mirror. It stood alone in the center of an otherwise empty room. Massive, ancient, and the glass? Too perfect, like a window into another world. My reflection stared back at me, but something felt wrong. It wasn't a normal mirror. It was watching me. Then, my reflection moved first. Not an accident. Not a trick of the light. It moved before I did. And then, it smiled. A slow, predatory grin that stretched too far across its face. Teeth too sharp. Eyes too dark. I tried to step back, but my feet wouldn't move. My chest tightened, my breath shallow. And then, from inside the mirror, a whisper. You must not look away. The voice was mine. My reflection reached out. Its hand pushed against the glass and came through. I stumbled back, my breath strangled in my throat, but the hand kept reaching. Its skin was darker, veins too visible, fingers longer than they should have been. And then, the reflection spoke again. You looked away. The walls collapsed into darkness. 4. The world behind the mirror. I woke up somewhere else. The house was gone. I stood in an endless corridor, lined with mirrors stretching infinitely in both directions. The air was thick, heavy, filled with an oppressive silence that felt like it was pressing against my skin. And the reflections? They weren't mirrors. They were windows. Each one showed a version of me. But not me. Some had extra eyes. Some had mouths that never stopped moving, whispering things I couldn't understand. Some were watching me, even when I looked away. I turned to run. But no matter which direction I moved, I was always running toward myself. And then, from somewhere deep within the mirrors, I heard something crawling toward me. Something that had been trapped here for a long, long time. The whispers started again, a chorus of my own voice, overlapping. You looked away. You looked away. You looked away. I covered my ears, screamed, slammed my fists against the glass. And then, one of the reflections moved. Not just moved, stepped out. It was taller. Its face stretched unnaturally, mouth wide with a grin that didn't belong. Its eyes were pits of endless black, filled with something ancient and hungry. I barely had time to react before it grabbed me. Everything went black. 5. The price of looking away. I woke up back in my apartment. My laptop sat open. The screen was black. And my reflection? It was staring at me, not moving, not blinking, just waiting. My phone buzzed. A new email. You must never look away. I swallowed hard. My hands trembled as I scrolled down. A live video feed. It showed me sitting at my desk, staring at my screen. But something was wrong. I was smiling, and then in the reflection of my laptop, I saw it. A figure standing behind me. Tall, shadowed. And when I turned around, there was nothing there. But in the laptop screen, the reflection remained, watching, waiting. And this time, it wasn't me anymore. It was something else, and it was still smiling.